Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
I'm going to make one just for you, Knol, okay?
I'm here for
This is Knol taking it listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Strangle him like a duck. Anyway, that's right. That's right, kids. The ones I've been threatening you with all month is finally here. That's right, kids. It's going to take 4 men to replace Lilith Hellfire tonight on Ultimate Spider Cast.
She's for the 4 men right now.
Hey-oh! Not until she gets in the neighborhood, Knol. All right, kids. So yes, that's right.
Let's be nice.
We got Charlie Esser. We got Justin the Outlaws Good. We got a shiny-headed Russell, and we got Knol, son of a bitch, Tates.
Oh,
What
see,
did
now
you say
I'm
when
mad.
I'm
Everyone
not
else got honorific.
Oh.
Me, so.
You know you're
Whatever.
the professor.
I'm just Charlie.
You know you're the professor.
I know I'm the professor, but no one else knows that now.
Fresh-
But that's okay.
the-
We'll move on.
the fresh-
Let's move on, Phil. The damage is done. Move on. Move on.
The fresh meat from Cell Block D. It's Charlie Esser.
Thank
Phone a
you.
friend, Charlie
You know,
Esser.
it's only because I said. That's the thing. It should be nice to have it.
Hey-o.
Automatic that everyone knows, and then you do, and you say. But it's okay. It is what it is. Hey, anyone read this issue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And yes,
times.
and not only are 4 fill-ins here for Lilith, but yes, we have feedback from High Priest of Sausage himself, Ray.
Ooh, nice.
Sausage! Yeah. The
Yes.
platypus himself.
And all throughout this episode, I'll be playing my new favorite game. How many drops can I play before Justin falls out of his chair?
It is a fun game.
Rumpy Pumpy.
You know, at some point in this episode, I think the professor is going to meet a doctor.
Oh, no.
I don't know
my.
when he's going to show up.
Not
so-
Bong.
Just don't say his name.
Oh,
Yes,
too
don't
late.
say it 3 times. Don't say it 3 times.
Don't look at a reflection in his head and say his name.
Make no claims of doctoral status. That's all I'm
Keep
saying.
all the bells out of sight.
Did that joke go over Charlie's head? I think it did.
Well, I don't know if he
No,
knows Russell does a Dr. Bong impression.
Yeah.
I don't do a
I'm
Dr.
familiar
Bong
with
impression.
Dr. Bong.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Doesn't do a Dr. Bong impression.
Oh!
Oh.
No, not,
He's
no.
Dr. Bong.
Not the kind of Dr. Bong that Lilith is. No.
Different kind.
Again, be nice.
She admits she
I
takes
thought she
her
was a
I
nurse
know,
anxiety
but
Commissioner
she's
medication.
not
Bong.
here. You can't speak ill of people who aren't here.
Don't
That's
spell Illith of the
inappropriate.
Lilith, man.
Because you will kill us all. I mean, I'm sorry. It's like, you do understand that, Phil, right?
And shut your filthy mouth.
Some of us are already dead, so it's...
No, not emotionally, Russell. That's not what we're
She
talking
won't
about.
kill
Oh.
me. We're going to hang out.
All right, so yeah, let's get to this issue because I know people have thoughts. So here, I'll read the synopsis because I know Knol's like fidgeting in his seat.
I'm actually pretty chill, man.
Oh, he took his anxiety medication too. All right, Marvel team up,
Unisom.
Volume 1, number 96, from cover date August 1980.
And speaking of August 19th.
Oh no!
Oh! You can't
Rockin'.
play... You can't
I'm just
play
kidding.
music on here.
I could just hold my phone up to the... I'm just
He's not gonna hear this.
Panic in the... Oh, God. Panic in the Park.
Mhm.
Writer...
Alan Kupperberg, everything.
I was going to say writer, penciler, inker, colorist, letterer, Alan Kupperberg.
Uh-huh.
And editors, Denny O'Neil and Mark Grunwald. So...
And editor-in-chief, Bang Bang.
Shipsuda!
The shooter.
Shooter, yeah!
Six shooter.
The greatest editor-in-chief.
Uh-oh!
because everyone hated him, because you can't win games if everyone likes you.
Right. Everybody knows
you.
the greatest editor-in-chief ever at Marvel Comics was Archie Goodwin. Right?
Uh-oh.
Jim Shooter.
I can see the argument. I can absolutely see the argument.
No, that's a joke.
Let me just say, Jim Shooter was my editor-in-chief, so
Mine
I
too.
will defend him with my last breath. You know, it's...
Well, the two most popular words in toys, in kids' toys, is secret and wars.
The third most popular is 2. Secret Wars 2.
You know, I don't want to get into a whole... I don't want to get this off, but Secret Wars 2 was very different than the original Secret Wars, because that was much more of a
Making fun of Steve Gerber
anti-apotheosis, God seeking to become man story that is
Charlie,
not...
you know he wrote the whole thing to make fun of Steve Gerber, right?
Entirely
That's
possible. That's fine.
That's no joke.
So where does it beyond?
I mean, look, it's entirely possible, and I will absolutely take your word for that. I will say it worked out great.
So where does Beyonder learning how to use the toilet fit into that?
Beyonder with Jerry curls.
He was Steve Rogers with Jerry curl.
Teach me how to urinate.
Let me just say that you can ask J.K. Rowling about the Beyonder using the toilet. Yeah, no, but for real, that's a thing. It's like the Beyonder asked, "What do I do with this pressure in my body?"
Oh, it's Ray. Hi, Ray.
Ray's sneaking on at work.
And J.K. Rowling just says, "Oh, they just pooped wherever they felt like it," and then just made it disappear.
Let's not bore the listeners with turf talk, shall we? Let's get into
let's get back to the topic at hand tonight.
I'm just saying when you if you want to do J.K. Rowling to
Charlie the
Jim
Professor.
Shooter, I think Jim Shooter comes out ahead in that debate. That's all I'm saying.
All right, let's get back to the topic at hand.
You know how duck penises work, right?
Yes, I do, Lois. And
Hey, speaking of, we get a naked Howard tonight, all right?
That's true. Naked and wet.
Like half the... All right, so Howard the Duck, now working as a taxi cab driver, has driven a customer to New York all the way from Cleveland. This man, calling himself Status Quo, was a mild-mannered librarian when the constant advent of new fads drove him into a madness. Wanting to destroy all fads, Status Quo began studying how the media and advertisers help encourage fads, and now has come to New York in order to speak to people and convert them to his anti-fad group. This...
The anti-fadcists.
Yeah, no, for real. You read that, you're like, wait, what? How did they write this book, like, from the future? I don't know. That's disturbing in its own right there.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, well, it's like, for real.
Escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Why is Howard...
Anyway, continue on, Philip.
Why has Howard got the complete Jake Lockley thing going on?
I was going to ask somebody about this. How did this happen?
Well, apparently he started driving cabs in Cleveland, and someone said, "Take me to New York City."
All right, so all right, so hosts of Trapped in the World, right next to me in this row, the Howard the Duck podcast. Yes, around what time in his series was this, and was he driving a cab? Or is this just like a one-time thing?
This was after the series was canceled by Jim Shooter.
So we're jumping ahead for me.
Yeah. You saw him go back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
So he's back in Cleveland, but we're jumping a bit ahead. But Howard had a lot of many odd jobs throughout the years. Anyway, did you finish the synopsis?
No. Okay. I didn't hear about anti-fadisms. This eventually leads to a giant demonstration in Central Park where, surprisingly, Status Quo manages to gather a large crowd and earn himself a legion of followers. These followers are armed with gimmicked fads, rocket-powered skateboards, exploding frisbees, etc., and set out to attack anyone who supports any kind of fad. The chaos brings the attention of, finally, Spider-Man, who tries to quell the mob and prevents them from spreading beyond Central Park, while Howard is chased after by some anti-fad goons who think he's trying to perpetrate a fad himself. Spider-Man eventually teams up with Howard, and the two manage to expose Status Quo as a hypocritical terrorist in front of live news cameras, discrediting him and causing his followers to break up. Afterward, Howard and Spidey split up, and Howard returns to his cab where he finds a police officer waiting for him to write him up on a number of traffic violations.
Including driving in
So
feathers.
can we just make the point that this is fantasy, and that exposing a hypocrite actually resolves the situation? Like, it wouldn't in real life, but in this moment, he's like,
are classified documents involved?
Yeah, I was committed to my idea until you pointed out the folly of it. And by the law of the Fae, I must now recant my previous stance.
As I said this week on a Gamma Charge, I've been like mainlining that stuff.
Yeah. Although
getting high on Trump's supply of secret nuclear documents.
I do like how this, in its own way, in a much more gentler way later, this informs many programs like Steven Universe, where you can actually talk the supervillain out of being a supervillain. You know, and for what it's worth, this is actually a trope that occurs very often in Marvel Comics when two people just say, "Why are we doing this?
Yeah,
what is the purpose?"
It's very,
it's
funny because it's really weirdly kind of apropos. Because Alan Kupperberg had written and illustrated a bunch of the Spidey super stories books from the 70s. And a lot of those ended in a very sort of, Sesame Street, Electric Company kind of way, where you just talk the bad guy out of it. And so it seems sort of fitting for that thing. But Kupperberg had also, if I just want to get into my opinions on this, it's actually pretty good Howard stuff, I'd have to say. It's not fantastic, but no, I mean, it stays on Gerber. It really does. I mean, the whole Status Quo is a very Gerber concept.
Yeah. That's true.
A lot of Howard's dialogue is pretty classic-y-ish. I mean, Kupperberg did the newspaper strip with Marv Wolfman after Steve Gerber was kicked off the comic strip.
Oh.
So he knows the character. He's drawn and written for him before in the comic strip. So it's not completely off as some later kind of interpretations would be of Howard the Duck.
You see, I simultaneously agree and disagree at the same time, because I mean,
Schrodinger's Russell.
I'm the newbie to Howard. That was the whole gimmick of the podcast, and to me, this felt so different. Like the Status Quo and him getting an origin story, that was very Gerber, but Howard himself did not feel like the same Howard to me.
No, I mean, it's not the same. It's clearly written by, we'll be getting into it in the next episode of Trapped in a World too, but Marv Wolfman, proud member of the collective, doesn't have a complete grasp exactly, even though he'd edited Gerber with Howard before, but I mean, we've talked about it a million times on our shows. Like, nobody can do Howard the Duck except for Steve Gerber, really, when it comes down to it. But as far as trying to do a sort of a pale imitation, I think Kupperberg does a fine job.
Well, this issue's weird too, because it's like you're kind of trying to keep it grounded like on a Spider-Man level, but then you're throwing in a naked talking duck for like most of this issue. So it's like,
although a talking duck is not as
pardon me, gentlemen.
Oh my!
No, I mean, let's be honest here.
Silence.
Let's be honest here.
Silence.
Yes. I can.
Dr. Bong's word of the day
the joke.
is Scholark, the head of a school. Charlie the Professor Esser is my least favorite Scholark. That will be all, Carlo.
But let me just say, in a broader context, because of course that is what scholarship is not looking at things in an individual perspective, but a broader context of what the message is, how do people adapt the message, and how do people approach it in other versions. The fact of the matter is...
What?
He even made a thing for...
Oh, Ray?
Yeah.
Russell.
Oh, Russell. Oh, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I know. It's fine, yes.
I'm sorry, Charlie, start over. What were you talking about?
Anyway, but this is sort of my thing. This is always my thing when I say, Steve Gerber has to write Howard the Duck, and Geffen, whatever his name, has to write Ambush Bug. No, they don't.
God, here we go.
The ideas and the concepts within these characters do not preclude other people from approaching them, looking at them, and understanding
and so
where
did
they
the
fit
lawsuit.
in a larger world.
And so did the lawsuit
what?
that Steve Gerber brought against Marvel Comics. But the
Well,
truth of the matter is,
Steve
it's
Gerber,
like if you have a singular voice, like I've said, I've admitted before, I've enjoyed other writers on Howard the Duck, but to get the Howard through Gerber is such a singular sort of voice that it can be a little jarring jumping from reading him. Like we're about to get into that on our podcast. It's like we're going from a Gerber thing to being like, oh, this is different.
Yeah, I have no problem with someone else writing Howard, but it is like Knol said, it's jarring because how many issues have we read so far?
Yeah, 29 issues.
29 issues. It's all been Gerber, and it's long been said that Howard is an extension of Gerber himself. So it's not bad or anything. It's just a little off-putting.
And again, too, I mean, is it slow because you kind of have to keep it slow because one, Howard really doesn't have any superpowers, and two, I mean, in his own book, you kind of can flow an arc through however many issues you want. This one, you knew it was going to be a one and done, so it's like you got to get him in, got to get him out.
Yep. Yeah. All these Marvel team ups are one self-contained.
Pretty much, yeah.
Stories.
Yeah. And to Charlie's point, it's not like Peter Parker's voice is exactly Stan Lee's or anything. It's like there's the line here. It's just like, that guy must be saying something people really want to hear. Then again, so did a man named Hitler. Like, that doesn't sound very Peter Parker. It's not a quip that he would do. But at the same time, you kind of go, well, it's Spider-Man, whatever. And there's been 500
Although,
people
to
written
be
this character.
fair, Hitler did say things people wanted to hear in that time and place. And likewise, so does Status Quo. And Status Quo, not for nothing, is kind of a Hitler-esque character.
Oh, for sure. It just doesn't sound like something
If you
Spider-Man
really want
would
to break
say,
it down, it's like, people want to follow the person who tells them stupid things.
Sure, I'm not arguing the logic of what he would say. I'm arguing the logic of writing Spider-Man saying that. It just doesn't sound like a very Spider-Man thing to say. But at the same time, it's kind of like you said, it's like it's not owned by Stan Lee. Like a million people have and a million people will write Spider-Man. It's like and the best ones get his voice, the more that we sort of think about it in sort of the zeitgeist now. Like Spider-Man is part of like you always say, it's like now it's part of the world. It belongs sort of to all of us. But kind of when it's right and when it's wrong, sort of instinctually. And that's kind of I think how Russell feels with Howard.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's how a lot of people feel about a lot of characters. There are times when I see people writing Ben Grimm wrongly.
Yeah.
And it makes me very mad, and I want to punch them in the face. But I don't dwell on those times when someone doesn't understand who the character is. I just say, well, you know what? The larger canon bears me out.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing. It's like, you can't dwell on any one issue where someone decided that Ben Grimm was a big dumb guy and not actually, close to Reed Richards' level of intelligence, but just, more of a kid from Brooklyn kind of way. Or not from Brooklyn, he's actually from the Lower East Side.
Yeah.
Which everyone used to be from the Lower East Side, but, now they've had to expand out to Brooklyn.
But can we quickly talk about page 17? Up on the upper right-hand side. What do we have there, Justin?
Oh, Biscuit.
Yes. Wait, which one of your favorites? Wait, what Biscuit?
I was clicking through it. No, we've got one mad naked.
I thought you were talking about the shirtless wrong page.
I guess I have the floppy, so I don't know.
The shirtless Peter Biscuit.
Oh,
But yeah, there's one mad duck right there when he's all soaking wet, and he's looking right at the reader too.
Yeah, he is, and he literally says, "Look out, Status Quo! You just got this duck real mad."
Yeah,
And
that is
you
the
know
best.
what?
Wait,
I
where is
love
the
the
biscuit?
fact that when Howard is without clothes, he's indistinguishable from other ducks.
Oh yeah,
Even though clearly
that's how he
he's
hides out.
distinguishable. He's clearly distinguishable.
That's a Gerber joke.
Does that
Remember
just
that
make
during the Russell?
Yeah,
Remember the
yeah.
presidential run where he goes and
Yeah.
he hides out with the ducks in the pond?
Yeah. They just figure all ducks look like that in the Marvel universe. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
I also like the.
Except clearly
other
he's with
people-
other ducks that don't look like that.
mhm.
And it's like clearly you could look at it. This is
The status quo is to look like a normal duck.
Okay, so can I have to make a point about this, that Frisbees have existed since at least the 1920s.
Yeah.
Well, so has martial arts.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing. But
That's a long-lasting fad.
It's not a fad. It's something that, granted, Whammo really pushed Frisbees in the 70s. But quite frankly, the idea of throwing a disc back and forth was a well-established thing.
The Olympics.
Which is why freaking Captain America throws a disc.
But Status Quo is a cooler nickname than Old Man Annoyed by Random Crap.
But
Oh no, the supervillain! Get off my lawn!
My point is, he's not
Lilith?
status quo.
Old
He's
man
a
yells
status
at clouds.
He is a status quo that is a presumption about a past that did not exist, much like Trinity Century, another classic Spider-Man villain.
Oh, I found the
Not for
biscuit
nothing, you
page. You're
could
talking
put
about
Trinity
Justice.
Century in this story, and it changes in no way except having to come from Cleveland. And in its own way, this is this idea of this longing for a fictional past that never actually existed, and then attacking superficial things that have nothing to do with the way that society has changed, but just saying, well, we used to be fine until kids started riding on skateboards, and then everything went to heck. It's like, well, but maybe the death of unions had more to do with that than them riding on skateboards? Just tossing that out there,
Today they're bouncing on pogo balls. Tomorrow they'll be shooting up heroin.
Exactly.
Lou Grant
and this
is in this
is,
too.
and to me, that is actually a very Gerber aspect of it. This
exactly.
idea of
That's what I'm talking about.
approaching that, of villains that approach a surface level anger at the world without seeing the deeper concerns that need to be addressed.
Yeah, for me, the villain was the most Gerber-esque element of this whole thing, the status quo. I love that. And I want his purple suit.
Yeah. I want the 400 and what did he pay Howard for a fucking cab ride from 400?
Oh my God. He gave him a quarter tip.
474.75. Yeah, and he gave him the 475.
Yeah.
Told him to keep the change like a gentleman.
That's some 1980s money.
The status quo is to be a gentleman.
Although, to be fair, I used to own a suit exactly like that.
Exciting times to be a pimp.
That's good timing. Did you direct message Charlie to set him up for that joke?
No.
No, but
one of the parts that made me laugh the most is the flashback when Status Quo is talking about his.
That's what I mean.
In the cab ride, he's talking about his origin, and there's that one panel where he's sitting up next to the disco club, and he can't get any sleep because disco music and roller skates pounded in my ears as I tossed awake all night. That panel made me laugh so hard.
Yeah, this dialogue seems
Although,
pretty
to be
Gerberish
fair,
too. It's like
living next to
very much,
any nightclub is always a problem.
Oh, definitely, but
If you live in
and
city
in those
life,
sleepless
you know
hours, I
that
determined
is
to reverse the loathsome trend. I would destroy the fattest first the status quo would prevail. That does sound like Steve.
Imagine if he had an apartment right beside a Kenny Rogers fried chicken joint.
Oh man,
I'm on no sleep.
And fury all at the same time.
Or you can just buy blackout curtains. I mean, really, they have those. They sell them at Walmart. You can
They don't work that well.
Mine do. They work fine. I don't know.
Oh, you're on the dark side of Jersey. I don't know.
Have you lived next to a Kenny Rogers chicken joint?
Yeah, to be fair,
Are they still in business?
No, they're not.
Where's the Joker nuggets? Boston Market's still in business, so I'm not willing to count Kenny Rogers out yet. There are even still burger chefs that exist throughout the country.
The man makes a mean bird.
I saw a freaking Stewart's driving through Connecticut yesterday. So you know what? These things exist, even if they are so consolidated into their one last store. You don't know what Stewart's is. That's okay. You're not.
I do. Yes, I've been to Jersey many times, and that's why I'm not going back. He also.
Fair enough.
Hey, you're not even from there, Charlie. You're a Midwesterner like the rest of us.
I've lived in New Jersey probably longer than I lived in Michigan. We're doing me now?
My brother's lived in Seattle longer than he lived in Minneapolis, but he's like, I'm still a Midwesterner. I can't help it.
Well, you know, what I will say is New Jersey is the first state in the Middle West, so because we're west of New York, and that makes us Midwest. You know, it's like it's all Midwest until you get to the Mississippi, and then you're in the actual West. The Mississippi, not Mississippi State.
I like how Spider-Man has met Howard the Duck before, but he's still like, nah, that can't be it.
That didn't happen.
He wasn't sure it was real.
That's always the conceit, because it's like, you know, he's met aliens, he's met mutants, but it's like, you know, sometimes we'll meet like vampires. He's like, vampires can't be real. And now it's like, oh, a talking duck can't be real.
Well, yeah, the people of Cleveland are more acceptable of a talking duck than the people of New York. Yeah, right.
Well, to be fair, he looks exactly like any other duck you'd meet on the street. So,
oh yeah, he's naked.
This is that duck blindness that all people in the Marvel Universe have.
What's this new fad? You got a midget dressed as a duck.
I was just waiting for, you know, it's New York, Marvel New York. I was waiting for someone to say, oh, is that one of those stinky muties?
Get the mutie, get him.
I love it when Howard's like, back off, I know Quack Fu. Oh, a martial artist fad, eh?
Which also is strangely kind of a Gerber line from the Quack Fu.
Yeah, he did his homework for this issue for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the talent that some other people like. The artwork here is it's fine.
What's some other stuff this guy's done? Because I think this is the first thing I've read of his.
Well, like I said, he did the Howard the Duck comic strip. He's did hundreds of issues of. He did a bunch of Marvel 2-in-1s.
It was 2-in-1s and team-ups a lot of it, right?
This is actually the
like
only
annuals and
this is the only team-up he's ever done.
Oh, okay.
But he did do a bunch of kind of like Marvel Tales and like you know, he was kind of a third stringer artist, but
he was the fall guy.
Yeah. Exactly. His duck looks good, but a lot of the other stuff, like Spider-Man, looks a little.
His duck was very Colin-esque. As Colin-esque as you can get without being Colin, I guess. But yeah. Everything else I thought looked a little strange, but maybe that's just because I'm used to Colin.
Well, it's like the page Spider-Man is swinging across, and the kids are like, "Hey, it's Spidey! Let's start a fan club for him." I mean, that looks. He also did, like I said, he did work for like the Marvel Super Special Tales, or the stuff that was a spinoff from the Electric Company comics. Or whatever.
He draws better.
The Thanos copter. Stuff.
He draws better children than John Byrne, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Even if one is totally
correct. That's not a high bar.
It's not.
That's a gamma charge. Yeah.
That is definitely one you could limbo under easily.
All of John Byrne's children are mid-40s.
Well, just ask Franklin Richards, like you said.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, you know, the man knew a lot of people who had dwarfism, or at least one. So, you know, he just drew people that looked like that. And it's Richards is such a BA.
I just found a line.
Representation, it's important.
I must have missed that issue of Fantastic Four where Franklin Richards walks in with a cigar, like, "Mom, Dad, what's up? What we doing today?"
No, but it just.
Where's the gin at?
It's cold gin time again.
Yeah, where'd that She-Hulk at? Up on the roof again.
Franklin Richards is such a BA.
Oh boy! Well, this Phil,
are
you glad that you scheduled this episode?
Yes, even if Knol hadn't pressured me into it, yes, I would have. Yes.
I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, no. All I know is, again, it's such a for the sake of the story, it goes on. But all I know is just if Spider-Man had just one piece of webbing across Status Quo's mouth, give him the old Jameson, I mean, we would have had 5-10 pages.
Yeah. Not even. He would have showed up with his face and be like, "Anyway, you're a duck."
Yeah.
What new fad is this?
Yeah. It's a duck fad. Which actually,
you're a duck.
In the 70s, ducks were a huge fad. That's part of the whole joke of Howard the Duck.
Let's go duck, man.
Yep.
I'm surprised he wasn't like, "Didn't you run for president?"
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh yes.
Well,
Missed
is this
missed opportunity?
You celebrities running for president.
Is this one of the two? Or wow, is this one of the few Marvel? This is a team up, right? Marvel team up.
Yeah.
Where the two title characters aren't forced into a battle against each other.
Yeah, eventually they sort of drop that because Spider-Man has already met everybody.
I think it depended on if it was a new character or not.
Yeah, if he had met them before or not. Maybe their first meeting, maybe. But it's
if it was a new character that they might scratch
like that,
for a couple pages.
Like that one me, Charlie, and Justin did 2 weeks ago, or 2 episodes ago with the Human Torch and Spider-Man and Frogman. It was just
Frogman.
Peter Parker, Johnny Storm are just quipping at each other. They're just like, "Oh, get out of my way! I'll handle this." But yeah, they didn't actually come to fist.
And just a couple of issues before this one, actually, was Spider-Man in the Shroud.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man, of course, was like, "What the fuck?"
One thing I found kind of curious is that and maybe, I mean, obviously the first time Howard and Spider-Man kind of encountered each other was Howard #1. And in that issue, Howard didn't care at all about anything to do with Spider-Man. And in this one, he's like, "Boy, I sure wish I could swing like Spider-Man. Thanks, Spider-Man." I was like, that doesn't, I feel like Howard would just be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and to be fair, that is weird because he has a job. He's doing his job.
Yeah.
And he's just mad because this guy has asked him to drive him to a specific place in Manhattan without any comprehension of what rush hour is. Although it's pretty late. I don't know if this is actually rush hour. Although Manhattan, it's always rush hour. So
right. Yeah.
Okay, wait. Here's a real test about with the dialogue. Though. I want Justin to read this out. When Status Quo is bitching about how long it takes, they're stuck in traffic.
Which page is it? Oh, in the third page.
Sure, I guess.
Well, it'll be a different number for you.
Yeah, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, I guess.
Wait, you mean when he says, "How soon do we reach my final destination, Duck?"
He's like, "I tell you, Status Quo was not to be late." And then Howard says, "Sorry, Doc. This dialogue here, this is how I know if it will come across if Justin reads it in his."
Oh, let me see if I can find it. Oh, yeah. "Sorry, Doc, but there ain't nothing I can do about the traffic. Okay, keep your shirt on. I'll check out the situation on my CB. Yeah. Breaker. This is the Driving Drake. Talk to me, cruising cabbies. How's traffic into the dark up ahead?"
"It's open up, Driving Drake. You ought to make the park in a few minutes."
See, Knol, I thought that was Lee. Is that not Lee?
It looks a little like...
See, I gotta make a point here. This is actually my favorite part in the entire book because this is CB culture, and this was a thing, man. This is
This was when that show Taxi was on, right? Wasn't the show Taxi like a big thing right now?
Oh, yeah. Well, they weren't as big into CB. That's more of a trucker thing.
Well, yeah.
But when you're crossing state lines and stuff.
We need US 1 in here.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember that. Remember that episode of Taxi where it was a snowstorm and Alex got trapped in the cab with a horny young woman, and she was like, "We need to have sex to stay warm, so we don't die out here in the snowstorm."
I don't remember that episode, but I'm going to say I hope I do someday.
I remember that one.
Was her name Lilith?
Oh!
Superior Plus!
Hello.
She would have kept him real warm. But it made me think of that, because he was like calling back to what's his name? The little guy.
Louis,
Howard?
Yeah.
To Louis.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And like, doing some CB talk. Yeah, remember that one where Alex fucked the chick in the back of the cab? Super weird.
I'm just saying I like CB talk. That's
I thought this was a clean show, Phil.
Well, I knew what I was getting into when I invited Knol, so.
He knew the job was dangerous when he took it,
Fred. Yeah. No, I mean, CB talk can be across. We were on tour with a band once who put a CB in their van just to mess with truckers while we were out on tour. And so they were going, hey, everybody, escape, go, DB, yo, talk like this. And like people kept going, who's out there? What was, breaker one, and then he just kept on like messing with the truckers. And finally, one guy gets on the CB. If you little assholes don't get off this line, we're gonna find you and fucking kill you.
Well, they would.
Yes, that would have turned into a horror movie real quick.
Damn rockers.
Don't mess with the Teamsters, man. I mean, if there's one thing Jimmy Hoffa taught us is don't mess with the Teamsters.
Or hillbillies in, like Arizona, wherever we were.
Oh, yeah, you would have been out in the desert in a hole somewhere. Is that right?
Those hills do, in fact, have eyes.
They do. And they're hungry.
Russell would know.
You're damn right. Except my area is more of a wrong turn situation than hills have eyes. And you go a little bit further down, you get Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So everywhere's got their inbred hillbillies. They just do.
Absolutely.
I mean, you've seen the Jersey Shore. I mean,
whoa.
They're from New York.
Fargo? What is it here? I guess it's Fargo.
All right.
That about wraps us up.
Hey. Well, hey, no, before we go, I know he's sitting on the edge of his seat. Do you guys want to hear Ray's feedback?
Oh, yes, Ray's feedback.
That's right, kids. Ray from Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Moon Knight podcast.
To Knowers to Fear, the Spider-Woman podcast. We got... Yes, Last Sons of Krypton and Superman podcast. You can hear him the last week of every month right here talking Ben Riley with me and Dave, which, yes, next episode will be another Ray episode. So
Predator and Prey.
And Predator and Prey. Oh, no, I heard the joke you guys said. Predator and P-Ray.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so...
Is that my joke?
No, I invented that, you dick.
I thought I came up with it first.
There's a drop!
When you first said Predator and Prey, I was like, P-Ray. I don't think you invented it.
I did over a year ago, you dick.
I still think you ripped me off.
Proud members of the collective. All right. All right, kids. Here's what Ray had to say. A little over 3 minutes. All right. Let's see if there's any wildlife in the background. All right. Let's.
There's not.
Hello, boys. This is Ray, leaving feedback for Marvel Team Up 96. I thought this was a pretty consistent tone for a Howard the Duck issue, which kind of surprised me. I would have expected it to just be like Howard injected into a Spider-Man story, but I'd have to say pleasantly surprised. It was more so Spider-Man and his world, or actually even just Spider-Man, injected into a Howard the Duck issue. So I thought I thoroughly I enjoy this as team ups go. I love the team ups because they're all different flavors. You know, you get your chocolate, you get your cookie, you get your rocky road, and with Howard the Duck with this one, you get kind of like a pina colada kind of flavor. So I enjoyed it very, very much. Yeah, so what really happened in it? Let me kind of think. Status Quo. He was a really fun, I think, villain.
It's great. What happened?
And Howard looking at us, the readers, and telling us, oh, here we go. Here's an origin story about to happen. It was cool to see Status Quo and how he kind of gets disgruntled with all the fads, all the mother fadders of the world. And interesting that Spider-Man likened him to Hitler. That was, he went there. But immediately kind of, brought that back to perspective, which was good. But Status Quo kind of really influential and gets a lot of followers to carry out his idea of basically getting rid of all the fads in the world. It was interesting to see. We had the roller skaters, the frisbee people. What else was there? The joggers. I always have to laugh how jogging is a fad. Maybe it is. Who am I to speak? But yeah, it was a really cool issue. As much as I love Howard, a little slight quibble. I would have enjoyed a balance a little bit more with Spider-Man. He was really kind of incidental. But then again, I mean, Marvel team up. It is all about the guests, isn't it? Because Spider-Man is there. He's the staple. He's the straight. What do you call it? The straight man to the wacky guests. So that was good.
Ray, was it good?
That was good. Yes, it was good. So, I will be tuning in, hopefully live, to heckle the hell out of you guys.
Mission accomplished.
That's a chicken. That's not a duck.
Just plucked himself.
Holy crap.
That has to be the greatest. Oh my god, that has to be the greatest Ray feedback I've heard since. Has to be the greatest Ray feedback I've heard since
Batman, my favorite character.
I don't know. I still think
on our show.
I think my favorite is the one where he was on the bus or being chased by the bus.
Oh yeah,
that one had me laughing so hard that I had tears running down my face.
Or just hear animals in the background.
Well, because it started out like he was walking outside, and then all of a sudden he was like in this sprawling cityscape, and then he was in the wilderness. What's going on?
It's a real audio picture.
I just love how in all his all his shows he tries to act all prim and proper, but over here he's making chicken noises and just.
That's whenever I go on ITK and I start getting real Knol.
Oh yeah.
What the hell is going on here? We did one episode, me and Justin with him. Justin and I just started going off. Like, oh no, what did I get myself into?
Because Ray likes it hard, and Ray likes it long.
He sure does.
Whoa!
Hard master.
Oh,
Knees. The hard master. Go ahead, throw it in.
All right.
The Spider Babies.
All right. Anyone have any final thoughts on this issue?
I thought it was fine.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I like Alan Cooperberg's artwork. I thought he did a good. I thought his Howard was better than
his Spider-Man.
Well, his Spider-Man was okay too, but I was going to compare his Howard to one of the guest artists that I just read in one of the ones you guys are going to cover next. I think it was 30. It wasn't Carmine Infantino. It was the other guy.
Oh yeah,
I forget his name, but I did not like his Howard. So after having read that and then reading this, I was like, oh yeah, this looks much better.
Yeah, if it's Infantino's a lot of hit and miss. I don't know if it depends on like the era, but yeah, he did
a lot
of hit and miss.
He did one issue of Howard that was fantastic.
Yeah, and then this one was kind of off, and I think a lot of it had to do with the inker on that particular issue. But in comparison to those two renditions of Howard, especially coming after Gene Colan, I think I like this rendition better. I think it looks more like.
It up. I thought it was crap. Minus 5 stars.
Oh my!
That'll be all, Carlo.
Hey, gimmick infringement.
Don't make me call my friend Deadpool. All right, Charlie, what did you think?
I liked it well enough. I felt it was a solid story, especially as a Howard the Duck story. I felt that Status Quo is a very standard, classic Howard the Duck villain. You know,
What if he's making fun of Shooter? You gotta keep the status quo for Howard the Duck.
I actually think Shooter's the kind of guy who could laugh at himself. That's the thing. It's like everyone wants to make these.
I have an interview that I'm going to send you a link to later that will prove you wrong.
Okay. Look, all I'm saying is, you know what? When you look at these stories, everyone wants to make a lot of drama about it. These are a bunch of nerds, you know, that are doing slap fights at each other about whether or not, you know, Superman shaves his beard with his laser vision. You know, I mean, for real. Let's put it all into context here as to what people are mad about. You know, at the end of the day, it is literally just the fact that everybody wanted continuity, but no one wanted Jim Shooter's continuity because they wanted their own continuity. This is literally just the internet running a company of comic book characters, and you know, just their own toxic fandom causing their own implosion, if you will.
What did you think of the issue, Charlie?
Oh, the issue was fine. You know,
okay.
No, the issue was fun. It was funny. It was delightful. I mean, you know, it's a Howard the Duck. It's a Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always a little weird when he meets Howard the Duck because, you know, he's a freaking duck. What do you want from him?
So, Justin,
you know?
that first issue 28 was Carmine Infantino. 29 is a guy named Will Megnew or something.
Yeah, it was that guy.
Yeah, very weird.
I couldn't handle that Howard the Duck rendition.
That's all right. None of them will holds a candle to Hell Cow, huh, Russell?
No. That is the best.
Well, I got two questions. Russell, where does this go on the Hell Cow scale?
It's pretty low.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Justin, how many quacks?
Probably, it's pretty low on this one. Probably 3.
Yeah, I was going to say 3 as well.
3 seems pretty high. I'm so confused at what
Well, it was raised up by the Shirtless Biscuit.
Oh, okay.
Shirtless Peter Biscuit raised it up a bit.
Yeah. Biscuit's always
What's
a
the
full
maximum
point.
quack number? So, for those of us
5.
unfamiliar.
5.
5. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
So it's a better than average.
It's kind of middle ground. Yeah.
Middle ground. Yeah, it's
So
not bad.
would be a 2, but bumped up a whole quack with a biscuit shot.
Absolutely.
All right, good to know.
Just needed some more Namor, right?
Yeah. Where's the Marvel team up with Namor?
Namor and Howard.
Hey,
yes.
I will have you know,
Duck.
the whole month of September here on this show was going to be Namor until his other biggest fan decided she had to move houses. So.
What'd you think of the issue, Phil?
I mean, it was all right. Again, I think I agree with Justin. It's like a middle of the road. I mean, it's not the best Howard story. It's not the best Spider-Man story. So it's again, a fist, a web. I mean, this thing can be done in 5 pages, but it's just for the sake of the story and get some naked duck for half the issue. Again, it's a more comedy than anything else. So, but yeah, I think just the mixing of Spider-Man and Howard, I don't know if that just like brings them both down.
Yeah, they're not on the same kind of quip level. It's different kinds of comedy. Like Howard, we were talking about Russ and I about like Howard's like funny, like it's a funny comic book, and like we even said like Spider-Man's, it's not a funny comic book. Like there's funny bits to it, of course. The quips could be funny. but it's not a comedy book.
There's bits of humor in there, but it's not the focal point.
Yeah, it's much more, Betty and Veronica and whoever.
And yet Howard can be a variety of different comedies itself.
Right, different levels, and different kinds of comedy, which is the good thing about having a talking duck in a comic, is you can make the world around it really weird.
Yeah.
I would love to see Status Quo come back because I feel like he'd be perfect for our day and age.
Yeah.
Be great if sometime after this issue he gets put in some kind of suspended animation. So 1980 gets put in suspended animation. They bring him out today, and it's just all these fads, phones in your pocket, and
his head would just explode.
What the hell is a vape? What is a vape?
I'm just going to say this right now.
It's a
if
meme.
You brought Status Quo back, especially if this was his last appearance,
this is his only appearance.
He's going to be humbled by the world he comes into.
Yeah.
He's going to be I don't even know what to make of it. I mean, and all these things, these TikToks and these YouTubes and these... And let's be...
He'd be like, what the
YouTube is 20 years old at this point, YouTube can drink, I think. You're in this point where you're I think he would be so overwhelmed. He would be I think he would seek out Howard. It's you were the one person who saw through me. Can you help me navigate this world? And then, honestly, then you do a little Citizen Duck story where, it's Hydra Duck and Howard's no, I'm mad about it even more than you are. And, you can go off in its own little direction there. So there's stories to be told, to be sure.
Maybe Status Quo has a son named Onin the Libs.
Oh, my goodness.
That was so stupid. I love it.
Honestly, it works. It works. So I'm not gonna.
Somebody was trying to sneak it in.
Onin the Libs.
Well, if you're coming for stupid, you've come to the right place.
What do you mean, Phil? I'm just down here in Kentucky drinking my Mountain Dew. I got so much tobacco stuck in my teeth, my grandpappy can feel it.
Does Russell like it long? Does Russell like it hard?
Hell no, I like it short and soft, Lily.
I'm about to hit this leave studio button that's on my screen.
It's all rape and murder, I'll tell you that.
Hell yeah.
All right, so are we done?
Wait, one fact from the Marvel fan page wiki.
Oh boy.
The 1970s and early 80s television character Lou Grant from the Mary Tyler Moore Show is shown covering this adventure for NBC.
Oh. Nice.
Wait, what
Thank
now?
you, good night.
Lou Grant was covering the story. Lou Grant from Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh, so the character Lou Grant in
Yeah.
the comic books is covering this story in another comic book, I assume? Or
No, he was one of the news people.
Oh, he's one of the characters.
Yeah.
In this, so we get Lou Grant. Well, that's nice.
I read
So
that
it got all the way
before.
out to
I read
the
the issue again, and I was
Channel
like,
9 in Minnesota, so very
that guy kind of looks like Lou Grant, but it doesn't say, hey, Lou Grant.
They must have had a thing with
See, and that's ridiculous. Lou Grant
They call
was
him
not
Lou.
the anchor. That would have been Ted Baxter.
Exactly.
So Ted Baxter should have been doing it, and Lou Grant should have been complaining about
it was that big of a
whatever
story.
Ted Baxter was. I'm sorry. I'm kind of a Mary Tyler Moore fanboy right now. So
does that mean that Mary Tyler Moore Show is canon to the Marvel Universe?
Hey,
Oh,
hey!
well,
I keep wanting to. Me and Lilith are going to have to.
Well, no, clearly not, because again,
So is Dave Letterman.
Lou Grant would not be doing the news. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
he's not
Lou
doing
Grant
the
would
news.
do
He's,
the
like,
news.
talking to
Ted
the-
Baxter would do the news. So this is
Gonna
a
make
crazy
this into an
topsy-turvy
issue.
world
Elsa.
where Lou Grant is the anchor. And where would Lou Grant be an anchor?
Hey,
Come on!
it's the biggest story.
Think, people, think!
Biggest story of the year: exploding frisbees, talking ducks. Come on.
He's not
And
actually
you give
not
that
on
to Ted
TV in the
Baxter
issue,
after
though.
Morey wrote the copy. That's how it works. Morey writes the copy. Ted Baxter reads it in blissful baritones.
At the busy newsroom at Rockefeller Center. Okay, what is the lead story for the lineup tonight?
Oh, so he wasn't on TV. Okay, he was just in the newsroom. See? There it is.
Okay.
There's a hospital that they're talking about how many minutes they can get on the news. What about the remote unit covering that riot in the park? And this guy who doesn't even really look like Lou Grant says, that's status quo, not stirring up the rubes in the park? That's it. They're having an editor's meeting.
They big units.
Okay, but that's not going to be Lou Grant if they're covering something in New York City.
No, it's
again, it's like they're stretching these.
Hey, there's an issue of this Marvel team up. I'm going to make Lilith do it one day. It's Spider-Man and the original cast of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I just.
Oh yes, yeah. I remember.
Oh, we're going to do that one day.
Original cast that. John Belushi's
Belushi's a samurai on the cover. Yeah.
And David Letterman was also
on the Avengers issue. Yeah.
That was West Coast Avengers. Yeah.
No, Avengers.
Just Avengers.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Wonder Man was in it, but I mean, it was a regular issue of Avengers. Yeah.
Who's the
okay. I thought it was West Coast Avengers. My mistake. My bad.
Wasn't that Al Milgrom that did that one?
I think it was one of those assistant editors month issues.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of like what this month is.
They did it once and never did it again, but it made a lasting impression.
It did.
On the readers of the age, so much so that they eventually brought it back as a weird contest thing.
I love it.
Well, thank you, listeners. This has been another episode of the Quantum Zone, and we are.
Wow!
Thanks for listening to Screw It. We're just going to talk about comics anyway.
Wow, he dug deep for that one.
One issue podcast. This been really long.
Wow! I know. Oh, I knew. All this testosterone here. Come on.
What about our Quasar podcast, The Quantum Zone?
There you go, Russell. Deep dive. All right, kids. So, yes, next time it'll be the last week of the month, so you know who will be here, the Australian. So, yes.
Batman!
You can't say Batman, man.
Batman?
Well, Batman's number one fan will be here.
Batman.
Taking all
my
of
favorite
good
character.
Press.
This town needs an enema. All right. So, yeah. Hold on. Pulling up the schedule. Yes, next month, Ray and Dave will be here. Too many. No, Justin's going to be on that other show.
On the other show.
The last week of every month. We are the Batman podcast.
The Batman podcast.
Is that the one with Red Moon Knight?
We're going to be talking about this guy.
Asbats. And then Azrael. Yeah, whatever. All right, so Spider-Man Redemption in 1 week with Ray and Dave, and then in 2 weeks, prepare yourselves, children. Lilith Hellfire returns.
The return.
As for the first week of October when we talk some Man Wolf, and no, I'm not talking about
testosterone.
And no, I'm not talking about Wrestle.
Werewolves of London.
Werewolves, Kentucky. All right, kids. Yeah, so send us your thoughts for the show, for all these gentlemen. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow Ultimate Spider-Cast on Facebook, on Twitter. Find links for all the various social medias for all the Marvel and DC shows we do. Link to the YouTube channel. Again, everything we do, including this train wreck, gets a video. So smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any of it.
Smash it!
And, of course, the Patreon. Again, labor of love. We're paying for this out of our own pocket, so every little bit helps, but $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
Yes, and the August episode, you got Fabian Isa also talking crap on the New 52, so woohoo, victory. All right. Oh, yes, and next week, well, is this going to come out? Okay. Capes and Lunatics episode 279, when Charlie and I are still going to be doing our 50th anniversary special for Ghost Rider with special guest Mr. J.M.D. Mateus.
Very nice.
I love that guy. He's been on a couple of times. Awesome. Yeah, he has a Kickstarter coming up. So kids, he has a Kickstarter coming up. So support J.M.D. Mateus on Kickstarter. Now, where the hell was I? Oh, yeah, our Patreon. So, yeah, subscribe to the Patreon. Oh, yeah, superhero movie brackets. We will find the worst superhero movie all the time because Lilith loves torturing us. And, of course, pick ourselves up some Capes Lunatics and Capes Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/CapesandLunatics. All right. Newest member of the team, Justin, where can people find you? Talking to that.
Well, besides joining Capes and Lunatics at We Are the Night once a month, I can also be found with Russell on Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, also edited by the lovely Knol up there in the corner. We just put a new episode out covering the first 3 issues of the Byrne Sensational She-Hulk run, which is fantastic. And also we co-host Tomes of Evil, comic book supervillain podcast, where we talk about the bad guys. And also with the aforementioned Ray, we have the Predator and Prey, a Yaucha podcast. And the Lost Library of Legends, my quote-unquote solo project, is still coming.
Sure.
The stars are almost properly aligned.
I'm a sucker for a guy with a powerful rod. Giant-sized man thing.
All right. Okay.
Justin, I didn't know you were talking about me while I was gone.
Yes, you are one. All right. Yeah. We're speaking of Russell, Justin did have your plugs, but do you want to do any plugs?
I think he did all of them, other than I am a co-host with Knol on Trapped in a World, the Howard the Duck podcast. The whole reason I'm here.
Knees.
The Howard the Duck podcast.
We are. Don't make me get him back in here. We're winding down on the original Howard the Duck run, which makes me very sad.
Mm-hmm.
But we're about to do a bonus episode on something I suggested to Knol that he had never read, Slapstick. So, yeah.
That'll be interesting. Charlie.
I love Slapstick.
Me
Marvel
too.
Slapstick, right?
Yes.
He is chef's kiss. He is just the best character. I love that character.
And coming up soon, we're going to be doing the last official Steve Gerber comic in the Volume 1 of Howard the Duck. And then it's a lot of fill-ins after that.
We're getting ever closer to that movie, Knol.
Yeah, one day we'll watch that movie. And then I think actually we're going to cover not just the Howard the Duck magazine, but maybe even before that, we're going to sneak in a little bit of the comic strip. See if I can find some scans or something of the comic strip and read that.
Yeah, do they have a collection of those?
No,
I don't think so.
Knol, Ray has a reminder for you. Read the screen.
Oh, yes. And of course, you can find... Thank you, Ray, my good friend. We have got T-shirts on the Into the Night TeePublic store. And I did 3 designs that are all quite hilarious. One featuring a very mad duck.
So Ray is there.
And you can find us out on Trapped in the World at all the fucking things.
Oh yeah, all the Patreons, Gamma Charge, Trapped in a World, all the Patreon,
Twitter. You guys know how to use the internet.
So Ray is their pimp. Yes.
Sex on the mind.
Come on, Justin, you didn't fall out of that chair yet.
I'm surprised Ray knows
sausage.
I'm surprised Ray knows what a pimp is.
I think they don't have pimps in Australia.
Oh, no. When we do that Scarlet Spider episode every month, he's like, oh, yeah, we're the Spider Pimps. No, man. He's calling himself Spider-Pimp.
I don't know. I don't know if he really knows what a pimp is.
He pretends to be innocent. He is not innocent.
A couple of balls down the goal.
Fair, the term pimp simply means to be turned out in a fashionable manner.
Tricky dicky.
And it has then come to mean a procurer of sexual delights.
The big finish.
Can I?
Really, the original terminology actually derives from
Pimp,
simply
noun, a man who controls prostitutes and arranges clients for them, taking part in the earnings.
It's a lot of
that's
meat.
one of the definitions of it, yes. But its original terminology actually means to pimp.
According to dictionary.com, it's all about pain.
Well, yes, and
Sucking
dictionary.com
life
is
force.
certainly a valuable source for
Phil.
understanding the entire history of words. So, yes.
Yes. Yes, Russell.
The classic Ray.
Pimp bull, Ray.
Phil, would it be cool if I told an embarrassing Ray story live on the air?
I don't know if I could sit here for this. Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Oh,
Okay, so it's clean too, so don't worry.
That ship has sailed.
So the other day I was just making conversation with Ray, and he had told me that he had ordered a pizza, and I asked him, what's your favorite pizza toppings, and he told me, and I'm sorry, Ray, I can't remember off the top of my head what you said, and he asked me mine, and I was like, I usually get one with like pepperoni and sausage and banana peppers. And he was like, "Oh, that sounds interesting. I'd love to try banana peppers. We don't have those here." And I was like, "Really? My God!" So I started to research it. I was like, "They're also known by this name." It was some other name. He was like, "No," and I showed him a picture. He was like, "Oh, we have those, but I bet they have a different name." And then he was like, "They're called banana peppers." Not only did he know what they were, he had eaten them. So
and then forgot.
I thought they were Boston Pizza owners.
You're welcome, Ray. We love you.
Talking about meat is so easy for Lilith.
From the Quantum Zone, I'm Quasar, and I suck.
No.
What about our Quasar podcast?
All right. Charlie Esser, where can people find you?
Well, if you would like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our mothers and fathers once said, do so at superconductivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconductivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it, including Stargirl, unless I'm actually recording full stream ahead with Mazma and Zor at the time that it's on, at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEssser. Look for the two E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz.
Yeah, Maz is the star over there. Maz.
It's legally admissible evidence.
Working with Charlie. Mm-hmm. Yes, right.
I would be nothing without
that de-escalated quickly.
I'm the first to admit that. Yeah.
Right to Charlie Esser, Cell Block D, New Jersey. All right, kids. Thank you for joining us. If you sat through this whole episode, God bless you.
You deserve a no prize.
Again, you've heard his name a lot tonight. Ray will be here next episode talking Spider-Man Redemption, and then in 2 weeks she returns. But until then, swing on back. Flip, flip, flip. None of you can whip like Lo.